it down, at least in the layman's terms, to where it's really understandable, so that in the future, whenever this topic comes up, we can dismiss people like Billy Carson, Zechariah Sitchin, Malachi York, or any one of these guys that are out here pushing a false narration about ancient history as it pertains to the ancient Sumerians. And one of the myths and deceptions is saying that the Anunnaki were those who came from heaven to key earth. That's not even in the grammar. That's not even the word. What we have is real simple. The first of all, the very first, could I share my screen?
Rod Hayes, is it cool or what? Because this is your day-to-day, brother.
I'm liking what he's dropping down, so I'm with it.
Yes, go ahead, brother. You can share. Hey, you know what, brother? Can you put your number in the back and I could give you your own show? You could do your own show. I would love that.
I'm surprised at you, brother Sonetta.
Why you say that?
Because you seem like you don't even know who the hell I am.
I can't really see your face. Let me see you, because you blocked. Oh.
Oh.
I got you, man. Yeah, but I still need your number, though. I forgot your number or something. Put your number in the back, brother.
Yeah,
in the chat. In the back.
You are watching a master at work, Chuck Morgan.
Share your screen.
I think that this is necessary, and because I did this with the Smash Rockwell show, I think that is necessary to have to pull up again. Let me hit this. Let me make my screen large so that everybody can hit it. 1, 2, 3. But please bear with me. It's just going to take me just a second.
Brother Ron Hayes, you can cut in whenever you're ready, brother. This is your show.
Oh, by all means. By all means. All right. Can you see?
Yes, I see it.
All right. Now, this is done because I'm an intermediate Sumerian language student. And this is something really basic and simple. It's not anything that's hard, rough, or complicated, because it wasn't even something that is really much in Sumerian folklore and literature. Okay, so the Anunnaki appears in post-Akkadian Sumerian literature as gods of the royal seas. Okay, Anunnaki. First of all, you don't have. Well, let me go to this. Let me go here. You'll never read. Well, first of all, right here, if you look, this first cuneiform character here is referred to as a dingir. Dingir. Okay, it is a determinative which classifies that what is to follow is either a deity name. In this case, it is a plural collective. So this would be the first word, because you do not pronounce this character here as a determinative. So the next character is in Sumerian, A. And A is the word that's used for water, liquid, semen, sperm. Okay? That is very key to this whole concept, because if you see Anunnaki, this is what is generally, as people like Billy Carson and Sitchin and them guys will say, but you don't have Anu. Anu, number one, is an Akkadian term that was innovated when they started to utilize the Sumerian language, parts, bits and pieces of it. But the Sumerians refer to him as An. So this is just letting you know, the reader, that is the word to follow, and that is talking about what is a liquid. The next word, well, let me point this out. You'll never read in the Sumerian inscription that these Anunnaki were sent from Anu to Ki. Zechariah Sitchin, as well as Billy Carson, falsely claimed that the Anunnaki meant from heaven to earth came. If it was saying that, it would be Anta Kalam She, from heaven came to earth. How do we know this? Because it's in the grammar. Is the Sumerian word for liquid. In Sumerian grammar, a single sign can represent three things. A word, as in the case of a house, A2. You have as a syllable, Ga'andu. Right here, this is not talking about Anu right here, number one. Okay, milk, an, and to build. That's not what it is. It's used as a syllable for pronunciation purposes, as well as a determinative, as in the case for the dead. See, here's the dingir center here, and the name of the god that follows it is Enlil. Enlil. Okay, so although determinative appears before all deity names, Anuna is in reference to God Anu. But the point is, this is in the second one. You have Nun, which is this next. Sorry, that's an idiot outside. Anyway, you have Nun, which is the
Say that again.
Sumerian term for
What you
royalty.
say? What you say, brother?
I'm sorry. Say it again.
What did you say? You said something?
No, what I said was that
No, you said I got
you look
somebody
at,
else, an idiot out there or something?
yeah, there's somebody revving up their motorcycle. So
Okay. I thought you were saying
but
that was
anyway, if you yeah, so what I was saying was if you look at Anuna, you'll see that the second word is Nun, and in Sumerian it's used to identify something or person of royalty, and it's usually identified as priestly, which is gender neutral. So you have the liquid or sperm in this case, the seed, the royal seed, and you have Na. Now this is where the study of the grammar comes in, because you have the genitive ending ak, which is the use how to use in Sumerian for of.
All right. Hey,
Now,
hold on, brother.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I would like for you to have your own show. I got to get Brother Rod back here. The people came to see.
I'm sorry, but okay. In a nutshell, just let me say this last thing, and we can go from there. Is that Anuna has nothing to do in the linguistics of mentioning An by name. An is just not An or Anu is not mentioned. It's just letting the reader know that the names of the gods that are being spoken are of a specific. These are minor deities, by the way, because the first writing of this appears in Neo-Assyrian literature during the period of Gudea, and then it talks about these minor deities as opposed to Gudea's chief deity, who was Ngersu. But we can talk about that. But that is the main point I wanted to lay out, that it has nothing to do with from heaven to earth or Anu to Ki, because for the record, Ki doesn't even come up in the word itself. You don't have the Sumerian determinative Ki identifying a place, land, ground. It's not in the word. You will find it later on in Akkadian and Babylonian literature, but then there's a specific reason why it's there. So that's all. I just wanted to make that point.
Right. Thank you, brother Chuck. Hey, Chuck, the offer's still there. I would love for you to come on and do your show on that. Let me get back to Rod real quick. Tell us about the Atlanteans, Rob, brother Rod, and where did they go when Atlantis sunk? Where did the Atlanteans
First of all, Atlantis was a global civilization network. It was a network of groups of civilizations all over the planet. It wasn't just one place. The city that they say sunk, they making reference to, was frozen under the ice in Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
The main temples of the ancient period is in the Grand Canyon, where the Temple of Isis and the Temple of Tahuti is, where they found all those Egyptian artifacts the Smithsonian was trying to keep the public from being aware of. Right. So when we talk about Atlantis, well, first of all, we didn't call it Atlantis, it was called the Atlant. And it was in reference to all of the working civilizations of the world working together. That's where the Atlantis come about under Plato. Right, because he didn't call it Atlant, he called it Atlantis, and you say he got it from overhearing a conversation with some priests talking in the temples in Kemet. Right, so when we talk about these ancient civilizations, we use in a modern lens for everything ancient, and all of the stuff that before us, if we take it literally, then we can be self-deceived in how we perceive the information. That's why I say I just read it like an energy. The brother mentioned about the Anunnaki and coming from Earth, from Anu to earth, or from heaven to earth they came, which is a common translation. You got to remember, in the early days of the discovery of the tablets, they didn't know how to translate them until they got Akkadian and Babylonian texts with the same cuneiform script, but it was using the Akkadian and Babylonian languages. And so they used that to reverse engineer the translation codex for the Sumerian tablets. This is why you have the bleeding of Akkadian terms and Babylonian terms into the Sumerian text, because this is how they use, this is what they was using to translate. The translation now is a whole nother level, like the brother was just showing us, because now the language has become understood enough from the ones who've been studying it for 50, 60, 70 years that now they can translate it direct without using the bridge of the Akkadian and the Babylonian text, right? If you go around the world, you can see the Zulu. Zulu mean skywalkers, right? And you got other tribes around the world that mean they walk the skies. Well, what do Skywalker mean and how do you translate it becomes the issue when you deal with what the ancients are saying versus how we perceive reality thousands of years later. It's like somebody whispering in the ear in one part of the room, and when the message get to the last person, it's entirely different than the message that was delivered.
All right, from here on in, y'all, brothers and sisters, I need y'all to ask a question, not to come up and give your presentation. You are welcome to do a show. So when I let y'all in, I just would like for y'all to ask the brother a question. I already have the teacher here. No disrespect to nobody. No disrespect to nobody. This is Brother Rod's show, and I just want to bring y'all in to ask questions. Hold on, Apostle. I got you. And I want to get, you want to ask a question, Apostle? Huh? Okay, go ahead, Apostle. You can ask your question, brother. You do donate to me on the regular, so I gotta bow down to those who really show love. You know, Apostle, I wake up in the morning, I see a Cash App. Oh, Apostle, my brother. You know?
Rod, ain't it true that in the Atlantic Ocean, they found underneath city walkways and cities in the deep of the ocean, of the Atlantic Ocean?
Not just in the Atlantic, they found it in the
well, I'm just saying the Atlantic.
Yeah, they have found there, and also down in where we have the Bermuda Triangle, they got the Bimini Road, which is street, right. Then they got statuary under the ground. Then off Japan, they got giant temples under the ocean. So it's a lot of civilizations that's under the water.
Right. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you understood that. I just wanted to make sure you understood. So,
yeah,
based on what Plato was describing, I know he described the city of Atlantis
with the concentric circles.
Right. The circle. Right. But the Septuagint was written in BC, before AD. The Old Testament Septuagint. It was written around 325 or 326 BC. So it's before the New Testament. But go ahead. I just want.
All right, Apostle. All right. All right. Griffin, what's going on, brother? You have a question?
Yeah, how you doing, sir? I appreciate it.
Good,
Peace
man.
to the panel. I just had a question for Rod Hayes. So for thousands of years, you know, we relied on like stories and written records, but now today, you know, we have phones, you know, we have the cloud. We're able to basically dish out information instantly now due to the internet, phones, GoPros, and stuff like that. How do you think where we're at now will affect future generations and how they view history? Because, like, I'll give you an example, like 9/11, people actually recorded that. That's not something that you can refute or say didn't happen. Like, people actually recorded that. So do you think moving forward, when we go hundreds and hundreds of years, it'll erase that gray area that we have dealing with thousands of years ago due to no actual records of us seeing things?
Well, first of all, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that we have now, we had before at a same similar period of time of a different era. As the eras go, the civilizations is normally become so decayed that the ones that you don't see, the Amun priest collapses the civilization to start it over. Now we at the conclusion of what's called the Piscean age and the onset of the Aquarian age, and a lot of the stuff that we didn't know before, we coming into the knowledge of. But in the gray area of perception is going to always be there, because that's part of how we perceive information. We perceive information primarily in the terms that we can relate to it. If you can't relate to the information, then you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. You don't want nothing to do with it until you find some kind of way to relate to it that you can put it in your paradigm. Most people don't want to hear something that they don't understand because that cognitive dissonance is very uncomfortable for them. And that's that gray area of what do we say happened or didn't happen, right? So that's why I say read it like an energy first, because now you have to train yourself how to read energy. And it's a lot of oracle training devices like tarot cards, the runes, the pendulum, that will also help you to refine your energy reads, right? So how we perceive information in the future, we might be using the technology so advanced that we might not even be able to see a footage in the old spectrum of the cameras that was being used. Because like first generation Microsoft Word don't work no more, but it's still there. It just don't work. It don't work to the same way as the new Microsoft version. Because when they put the upgrades in, it also has to knock stuff out that's useless. And as you do that, this is where your downsizing with advancements come from, because you get rid of what was useless and you hold on to what's useful as long as possible until it becomes useless. I mean, you used it up. Then you go on to the next piece of information. It's the same way with how we perceive when we understand an information. We only understand the information according to how we can relate to it. This is why a lot of people that's trying to teach us is using the Bible as the reference, because that's part of the paradigm that put us in the mental bondage. So if they used it to put us in, you have to use it like in there and dig around on the inside of the information in order to get out what you can use to salvage the people from the paradigm that they've been following for so long. And that's painful to a lot of people.
All right. You good, Griffin?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, Sai. Thank you for
You're welcome, brother.
having me up. Appreciate it, Rod. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro.
Keon, if you want to ask a question, you got to turn on the camera. All right, let's go to our brother, Dr. Reggie. You on the call, brother?
Okay, great. Hey, Hayes, we've spoken a few times. How you
Oh
doing?
yeah, I know you is, brother. I know you is.
All right. I'm not. I can only ask a question or two. So, the reason why Billy Carson got in trouble is because he was repeating things over and over and over again, particularly things like Christ wasn't crucified, right? And he got in trouble with a source, right? And listen, thanks for coming on this channel so we can vet exactly what you say. And I'm sure Sonetta has a bunch of questions so we could get specific. And we don't want one of those people like Huff coming on and ruining you, right? Or any of us, right? So we're going to have to be a little bit more specific, and we're going to have to mention some sources at some point. So my question is, you made a statement that the Egyptians, that what we call the Egyptians, those are the people of Africa in this particular Nile Valley area, which they call Tawi, right? The two lands. You made a correlation between those groups of people and the Sumer people, who we don't know a whole lot. We only know it through Babylonian and Akkadian sources. So my question, because I don't want to disturb anything, I want Sonetta to ask us questions, right? Hopefully he has good questions. But you have to tell me, right, since you brought in ancient Egypt, right, you're going to have to tell me that the ancient Egyptians or those people identify themselves with gods or with sacred animals, right? And is that similar at all to the paradigm that out of Africa? Because in my research, they thought differently. They didn't talk about sky gods. They talked about natural elements in Africa, sacred animals or venerated animals in nature, things that they could see, hear, and feel, right? And it has no correlation, and there's no recorded evidence that they ever met the Sumerians or the people that followed until a much, much later period. So their thinking was already developed. So my question is, you're going to have to can you spend a few minutes and tell us what you believe the ancient people of Africa believed, and show me that it's the same that the people out of Africa that what they believed, and to make a correlation. So I'll stop and I'll listen. I won't interfere. I just want you to talk to me about Africa, which is the birthplace of humanity, right? So we have more than 100,000 years of what we call pre-civilization in Africa. And then we have these other groups of people out of Africa in their thoughts. So tell me what you know about what the people of Africa in the Nile Valley that we call ancient Egypt believed. And I'll mute my mic and I'll turn off my screen and listen.
Well, first of all, the Egyptians' beliefs evolved over a long period of time, right? America's only 200 years old. When we look at the evolution of the ideologies in America, then we should understand the evolution of the ideologies that took place in Kim. The sacred animals is the totem system, right? Then you have the ones who was from the royal families, which was your hierarchy. But they have pre-dynastic civilizations that they don't talk about that go back even further, right? So I didn't make a correlation. Sonetta asked me a question about the relation between the Egyptians and the Sumerians. And I told him I believe that based on what Tahuti say in the Emerald Tablets, or what Thoth say in the Emerald Tablets, that they went over there and set up an observatory to keep an eye on the laboratory experiments and different things that was going on in Sumer that evolved into Babylon and Akkadian and all of that stuff. So they got different beliefs. Even in Africa, from tribe to tribe, you got different belief systems. You got different tribal structures and setups of how the rulership is passed and how the wealth is passed. But you have a common undertone in Africa called the Holy Drama. We knew it as the Syrian resurrection story. This story is told by the Dogon and by several different Bantu tribes that's not in Kemet, that's in Western and Southwestern Africa, right? So the belief systems vary around the world throughout history, and what they perceiving is how they telling their story. Everybody not telling the same story. They telling the story that they see. 10 people can be at a murder scene and they all gonna tell the same story. The only thing they gonna agree on is the murder.
All right, all right. Let me move on to the next brother. First, let me ask you, can you explain more about the connection between the Anna, Isis, and the Immaculate Conception story?
Right. That's the story of Heru and Kemet.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And this is also what they call the Inanna story in what we call the Middle East. Right. But the Anunnaki story is kind of different from the Egyptian story. They're not the same. But the Egyptian story is the go-to for the Immaculate Conception because it's one of the most comprehensive descriptions of how she was able to produce Heru from the seed of Osiris when he was no longer physically present. Right. And there's also other Immaculate Conception stories is written by, I think my man name was Kersey Graves, 16 Crucified Saviors.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's not an original story, but the most comprehensive that goes into it. And it's also part of the Holy Drama.
Okay. Let me get Dizzelli, let's get it, man. Let's go. And I got in the building next.
Hey, Saw, and greetings to Rod Hayes. Firstly, I want to say, Saw, I'm definitely going to need a show to give the House of Consciousness a treat on this topic.
That's
but
good.
I want to do it in how it relates to us in a conventional manner, things that are happening now. This is going to be quite a scary show. We can probably call it like a Don horror show. But yeah, I'm definitely going to want to link up with you so that I can get that out to the people so they can start worrying about whether Jesus wore briefs or boxers. But the question that I want to ask the brother Rod Hayes, and I said greetings to him, I want to ask him, with the information that you're bringing forth concerning the Anunnaki, have you ever considered how it affects the history of, let's say, humanity as far as religion goes? So if we're following you and you are bringing information that a group of beings, came to this planet in the in ancient times, have you ever put it together that these beings are probably responsible for many things that many people follow? We used to wonder why people had to make sacrifices to God or whomever, sacrifices of food. And you would be wondering, what does God want with food? What does God want a roasted calf for? That's just something to think about. But Mr. Rod Hayes, have you ever considered these things is my question. And can you elaborate on them just a little bit for us? Thank you.
I absolutely considered these things because the only way you will know is you have to find what's called the fingerprints of the author. That means that most of the stuff we believe, we really believe in it because somebody told it to us. We ain't believing it because we know it. That's like 90% of what we believe. The stuff we know, only thing we know is what we've experienced. in real time in our particular life, and everything else is secondhand information. That's why I don't do debates, because I'm going to be arguing, no matter whose source I use, I'm going to be arguing secondhand information, right? So I can give resources, I can give sources of information, but I rely more on my experience than I do on my my learning, because I know that most of the stuff that's been fed to us has been fed to us to control us. And go back to whether it's the Sumerian tablets or the writings in the hieroglyphics in Kemet, or the
Just elaborate on that.
you talk about when it was the great planet Tiamat before
Yeah,
the
Tiamat.
arrival of the moon. That's what you're talking about. That's that's not the war. That's the incursion when they first came and they couldn't navigate through the what they call the atmosphere. They couldn't navigate through the solar system because they didn't know the plotting of the planets in their first arrival. That was the signal of their first arrival in the record, right?
But it was Nibiru up under Marduk though, right?
Right. So what happened? He wasn't under Marduk at that time. It was under Anu rule. But Enki's son Marduk was told by Enki to go secure Nibiru when Enlil launched his Earth attack.
Yeah.
When Enlil launched his Earth attack, Anu is on Earth. That's why he waited for Anu to make the visit to stop the war between Enki and Enlil. And when he got down here, that's when Enlil launched the largest attack on all of Enki's installments or bases. When he did that, Enki told his son Marduk secure Nibiru. The only way they would know if it was secured, when the message came back, Nibiru is now called Marduk. Right? That means Nibiru is secure from the war that's taking place on Earth. And then right behind this is when the formation of the Galactic Council was formed, because the war on Earth began to affect other places. And they say, until y'all figure it out, y'all stay in this enclosure. We're going to put y'all in this Pleiadian light lock and with the Arcturian support, so nobody can leave until y'all resolve the matter, which was the Anunnaki war on Earth. It was the war in heaven biblically that landed on Earth, right? Because if you go to the Bible, it would tell you there was a war in heaven. And it say, and Satan and his angels fought against Michael and his angels, and Michael and his angels cast Satan to the earth. Right? So the war in heaven landed on earth. It didn't mean the war stopped. It just means that it came to earth.
All right. No, that's enough, Mr. Williams. We got to move on. Nazarene, let's go. Talk to us.
Thank you. Hey, man, salute, brother Rod. Love what you do, man.
Appreciate it.
Real quick, is it a portal in the Grand Canyon? And what is a good technique, to really know who you are? If you can answer that for me.
It is a Stargate. All of the temples, it was 12 Stargates on Earth. Right? And you can walk through the Stargate in Arizona and come out in the Stargate in Giza. You can go through the Stargate in Arizona, come out in the Stargate in the Himalayas. Right? And et cetera, et cetera. And what was the other question you asked?
And what's a good technique to know who you are?
Self-talk and breathing like a singer. The reason why you want to breathe like a singer, because you only using the top 2 chambers of the lungs. You need to get oxygen in all 4 chambers for them to all be activated for you to breathe, or what they call proper spiritual information transfer on the breath. Then the self-talk you learn the art and science of self-talk, your higher self can find answers that you can't find. Because your higher self is not restricted by the 3D universe. It can go get information from anywhere. And by you learning how you communicate with your higher consciousness, it tells you how your higher self is trying to answer the question that you asking of yourself to find.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
All right. Damn, man. I should have been promoting my Patreon, y'all. I'm surprised my mods ain't been hitting my Patreon up. All right. Let me show y'all. All the videos that y'all been looking for on my channel, they are now going on my Patreon page because YouTube, for some reason, is bothering me. So, you know, there's always ways to get around it. And they are not coming off of YouTube. They're going straight on there. I'm using the video, not coming from connecting YouTube to Patreon. You can now upload your video straight to Patreon. So in case y'all looking for all my classics, because I've been getting a lot of hits from people saying, where's all my classics at? Well, it's like my Netflix. It's like a Netflix channel. If you're not subscribed to my Patreon, $5 a month. That's all it is. $5 a month. And I have over 5,000 videos or more between Sarnetta Studios and the HOK. And so here's some of them right here. This is the first one y'all probably see until tomorrow when I start uploading more with Nepal taking on JJ 7000. This one right here, yes, it's Polite versus Captain Tazoriak. This is their first debate ever. I can't put it on YouTube because, you know, the clowns on YouTube will say, oh, you're promoting Polite. You know, the suckers, the sucker ass niggas. They will say stuff like that instead of looking at this is all classic history right here. So even I think even Captain Tazoriak got this up on his channel, but they ain't gonna say nothing to Captain. They want to try to bother me and intimidate me, but they can't. It ain't gonna work. We got Polite versus Captain Tazoriak. This right here was in Philadelphia. If y'all didn't see this, this is the one where Captain went in. And his wife tried to stand up, and Captain put her butt right in check. That was crazy. So you'll see that. We got the Bethy, Hebrews. We got all of these. This is where all my videos is at, y'all. All right, they go Inky and going in with them. And guess what? This is where y'all find the debates that y'all didn't see either. Here you go, Jabari taking on 3 Hebrew Israelites. In case y'all didn't see that, that's up there on my Patreon. All right. We got Young Pharaoh going in. P. Diddy, the Bad Boy record label, cursed. Is he being set up like Bill and R. Kelly? Okay. I'm just showing y'all what we got up here. It's a lot of material up here, y'all. All right. This is my Patreon channel, and it's only $5 a month. And all the new debates will be up here. All the new stuff will be over here. I will also be going live on my Patreon when I know that it'd probably be a little controversial. Remember when I did that interview with Cynthia G? It's right here, y'all. Cynthia G. That interview was 2 hours and 30 minutes long. Cynthia G. Sarnetta goes one-on-one with Cynthia G. That's up there. Sarah Sukaseti and Sabir. That's their debate, part 2. And I can load up and go for more.
Wait, stop 1 second, King.
Yeah,
right there, Genesis, that's the debate.
Which
that
one?
was the one he was talking about? I thought it was okay.
See, that's Sabir Bey is not that person. So that's all I wanted to say. We'll talk about
Who you talking about?
Some brother said, well, I'll let her say it. He said that he did a debate with SETI and something like that.
But who was it? Who was it, Genesis?
Now Bay something. Hold on.
Was it Sabir Bey?
No, it was not Sabir Bey.
It was hold on. His name is
Brooklyn Intelligence.
Sharif Anel Bey. Sharif Anel.
Oh,
Bey.
You're talking about Sharif.
Brother, did you have a debate with him and Sarnetta?
No, they never debated. Sharif debated Reggie. Brothers, he must have got it mixed up. But
Yeah.
debated Brother Reggie. That was Reggie's first debate.
Oh, okay. That was what. Okay.
Yeah, and shout out to the brother. I'm not dissing him or anything. I was just trying to make it clear. Anyway.
Garfield versus Gorilla Hebrew. This is where you see all the material. Oh man, Daniel Olive versus Battle Truth. The virgin birth. They did this too. The virgin birth. Did Jesus die for everybody or their sins? That's right there. Vocab Malone.
Hey, you got Nature Boy and all his wives doing their three.
Yeah, I got all of that. Everything is over here. All the stuff that YouTube don't want over there.
When we bust this pinata. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. So as you can see, all the stuff is over here in case y'all looking for me. Can y'all drop the link? All right, drop the link to the Patreon. That's what my brother's asking. Let me get the link, y'all. Let me drop the link to the Patreon page so that y'all can go ahead. First, let me finish showing y'all all the wealth over here.
You're not going to be able to show everything. You have so much on here.
No, I ain't going to show everything. You got to pay for it. You got to pay for
right here, King. You can't show everything on here.
I got you. I know. I'm just going to keep going down the line. Right here. I got all the stuff over here. And all the polites, even though y'all probably say polite, I got all that over here, y'all. All of that is over
here.
Yeah, where that's at?
Right there. You just right there. No, you had it, right? Go up right there.
Oh, yeah. I got all of it over here.
Hey, shout out to General Seti, by the way.
Yeah. Shout out to Seti.
I love that brother, man.
Look at this one.
Hey, Sal, the weigh-in with Captain Tazariak and Polite.
No, this one.
That was a teaser.
Barrio Saze versus
Patreon. I wanted to watch the real debate, and I was trying to scroll through your list, and I couldn't find it. But
Brother Jabari versus Rod Hayes. This is the first time they met up. It started off peaceful, but then it got into a little discussion. So, do you believe in the transatlantic slave trade? And where were we already? So that was Rod Hayes. You remember that, Rod?
Yeah.
Okay, that was an excellent one. Brother Jabari versus Sanchez, Flat Earth, Reality or Fiction. This was real good, though. Jabari versus Taz, the GOAT. Should Black Americans connect themselves to Africa? Taz was saying no. Crazy. See, so you just keep going down and you just hit this and load up more and more and just keep going more and more and more. So the more videos that I put up there, I would have to pay for bandwidth. That's all it is.
So is the debate that we're going to do in 2 weeks, is that going to be on here instead of on YouTube?
Yes, it will be up here. It's going to be on here. But we're going to do it live first. It's going to be live first, but then we'll put it up there eventually because I'm going to have to take it down.
You're still going to do that debate, Genesis?
Yeah, that's next Saturday. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Okay.
Look, hit me up because I want you to see what I got.
Okay. Well, Genesis was sounding a little bit like a flat earther before Mr. Hayes leaves. I didn't hear his take on flat earth. A little bit like a flat earther.
Yeah, I'm not. So in short, I'm not a flat earther. I believe that we in a torsion field, and the shape of the earth is more like a torsion field than it is flat.
Okay. All right.
That makes sense.
For all those who want to subscribe to my Patreon page, why is it doing that? Let me do this. Hold on. Why is it not? Oh, okay. The first one is not good.
They say I'm biting your style. I'm not biting your style.
All right, there's the link for my Patreon. Damn, that ain't working.
We're gonna catch Genesis over there with the brother Sanchez alights. Well, are you connected with do you ever connect with Brother Sanchez, Mr. Hayes?
No, that's not gonna go too good.
See, I need to know what's going on. You never know what's happening out here.
My Patreon page is right there, and I'm making it affordable for everybody. $5 a month. You're gonna catch the up and coming debates that will not be on you. I'm talking about my paid debates will be on the Patreon. So you would want to come up here. It won't be automatically up here because you know I gotta get paid for that first. It might be up there about 2 or 3 months later. It will be up there. So y'all can see it over there. You know what I'm saying? But if you want it in real time, have your ass in the building like everybody else.
And when are we gonna see Rod Hayes get in the ring with somebody else?
I don't do debates. I did that shit when I was younger.
No, not a debate. How about a discussion?
Yeah, but that's what him and Jabari had. A nice discussion.
We need to see we need to see you get in there and beat up some of these people calling your information pseudo, these so-called scientists who don't really get out the box.
Well, let them know, Rod. Money talk, bullshit walk, man. Say it.
Money don't mean shit to me.
Yeah, I know I don't, because I said that to you on the phone and you was like, I don't care about that. But the plot thickens, man.
Look, the plot might thicken, but I'm not here. Okay, so this is why I don't do debates. I want to make people understand this. In order to do debates, right, I have to go off somebody else's information to prove my point. Right? And most of the writings is under the control of secret societies when you start talking about before 1930s. Almost everybody writing before then was part of one of the brotherhoods, or else they didn't know how to read and write. Right? And so when you pulling up sources, like for instance, a good example is Albert Churchward is no longer recognized as an Egyptologist when he was one of the fathers of Egyptology.
Dr. Owens is saying you'll get it like Billy Carson. She said you'll get it like Billy Carson. Oh man.
Yeah, or like Mike Tyson and Jake Paul.
Right. There you go.
See, people perception. Our people, the ones that look like us, we